Ever feel like you're crushing your lat pull-downs, but still not getting those results? Well, you might be doing more harm than good, and not even realize it. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll be pulling more, building more, and avoiding injuries you didn't even know were possible. Let's face it, we've all been there. You hop onto that lat pull-down machine, grip the bar, pull down. And maybe you feel something working, but you're not sure what. Sometimes it feels like your lats are firing, but other times, not so much. Here's the truth. Most people get this exercise wrong. And I'm not talking about minor tweaks. I'm talking about foundational mistakes that can not only prevent progress, but also lead to pain and injury. Here's the thing. A proper lat pull-down doesn't just activate your back muscles. It targets specific areas that most of us are missing. But to get that activation, you've got to nail your technique. So, what happens when you get it wrong? You're either putting unnecessary strain on your shoulders, your arms are doing all the work, or worse, you're not hitting your lats at all. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to pull with precision, maximizing every rep, so you're not wasting time or risking injury. So, are you ready to get it right? Let's dive in. Before we get into the right way of doing lat pull-downs, let's talk about the biggest mistakes that are probably holding you back. So many people make them without even realizing it. First up, let's address the classic, pulling the bar behind your neck. We've all seen it. You've probably done it yourself, thinking it's a good way to target those lats. But here's the truth, this can be dangerous. When you pull the bar behind your head, you're forcing your shoulders into an unnatural position. This increases the risk of shoulder impingement, which can lead to long-term issues. So, if you're doing this, stop. It's not worth the risk. Next mistake, using your arms more than your back. If you find yourself pulling down the bar with your biceps and forearms, rather than engaging your back muscles, then you're not hitting your lats the way you should. Think about it. The whole point of the lat pull-down is to target your lats, not your arms. So if your arms are doing all the work, you're missing the whole purpose. And then there's the leaning back too far. Maybe you've seen people in the gym practically lying back, cranking the weight down. Looks impressive, right? But here's the thing. The more you lean back, the less you're using your lats, and the more you're relying on your lower back. Not only does this reduce the effectiveness of the exercise, but it also puts unnecessary stress on your spine. So stop trying to cheat your way to heavy weights. It's not worth it. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You might be thinking, alright, so I shouldn't do those things, but what should I be doing? Hold that thought, because we're about to get into the step-by-step breakdown that will change the way you do lat pull-downs forever. Stick around, because I'm about to show you how to correct these mistakes and perform a lat pull-down that actually works properly. Get ready to activate your lats like never before. Alright, let's get into it. Now that you know what not to do, let's focus on how to actually do this exercise the right way. I'm going to walk you through every little detail, step by step, so you can feel confident and get the most out of your lat pull-downs. First, let's talk starting position. Grab the bar with a wide grip, just a bit wider than shoulder width. Now here's a little trick to make sure you're positioning your body right. Imagine that your elbows are going to be the main drivers, not your hands. Your hands should just be there to hold the bar steady. This mental shift will make all the difference. Now, before you even pull, sit up straight. Your back should be flat, chest lifted. Picture a line running from the top of your head all the way down to your tailbone. Your body should form a straight line. No slouching. You want to maintain good posture, because without it, you're already starting off on the wrong foot. Next, let's focus on your core. Just like a skyscraper needs a solid foundation, your torso needs to stay solid to support the movement. Engage your core by pulling your belly button in slightly toward your spine. This isn't about sucking in your stomach, it's about bracing your midsection to protect your lower back and help you generate more power with each pull. Here's where it gets really important, the pull itself. Start by pulling the bar down slowly. Don't rush it. Think about driving your elbows straight down toward your sides, rather than just pulling with your hands. Your lats should be the ones doing the work here. You'll feel that tension in your back as your elbows pass by your rib cage, and that's a sign that you're doing it right. When you reach the bottom of the movement, don't lean back. That's a mistake people often make, trying to use momentum to move more weight. You want to keep your chest proud and focus on squeezing your shoulder blades down and together. Imagine you're trying to pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. That's how you know you're hitting your lats. Finally, the release. Control the bar all the way back up. This is key. If you let the bar fly back up too quickly, you're not giving your muscles enough time to stretch. Control the movement on the way back up, and make sure you're resisting the urge to let the weight just jerk you up. Let's stop here for a second. Can you feel the difference already? It's subtle, but you should start noticing more tension in your lats as you focus on those small adjustments. And if it feels like you're pulling less weight, that's a good thing. You're actually isolating your lats better, so you'll get more out of it even with lighter loads. Before we wrap up, here's a key takeaway. It's quality over quantity. You can't just go heavier and expect results. Perfecting your form is what's going to build strength over time. And trust me, the results will speak for themselves. Alright, now that you've got the basics down, let's take it up a notch. These next tweaks might feel a little subtle, but they can make a huge difference in your form and your results. First, let's talk about grip variations. Most people default to the wide grip, but switching it up can target different parts of your back. Try a neutral grip, where your palms face each other. This can take some strain off your shoulders, and if you're looking to really hit the lower part of your lats, this grip is golden. Another advanced tip? Mind the range of motion. You don't always need to pull the bar all the way down to your chest. In fact, pulling to the chest can sometimes cause your shoulders to creep up toward your ears, which is not ideal. Aim to pull the bar to about the top of your chest or just under your chin, while keeping your shoulder blades engaged. This range of motion still hits the lats effectively without straining your shoulders. Here's a game-changing cue. Pull your elbows in toward your sides. A lot of people have a habit of flaring their elbows out too wide during the pull. This leads to more arm involvement and less lat engagement. By pulling those elbows down and in, you're using more of your back and less of your arms. Now, if you're feeling super confident, try adding a pause at the bottom of the movement. Once you've pulled the bar down, hold that squeeze at the bottom for a split second before you slowly let the bar back up. This little pause not only increases time under tension, which is key for muscle growth, but also helps you really feel the contraction in your lats. Here's something I want you to try. Check your wrists. Your wrists should remain neutral and in line with your forearms. If you're bending your wrists backward too much, you're making it harder for your back to take the lead in the movement. Imagine your arms are just hooks. Your hands should be holding onto the bar, not trying to pull it with your fingers. By now, you've probably noticed something. It's not about the weight you're pulling. You don't need to lift a ton of weight to feel those lats working. The key is keeping the focus on controlled, precise movement. And when you really dial in the technique, you'll find that even lighter weight feels far more challenging. Take a second to think about this. You're not just working on muscle, you're working on the mind-muscle connection. That's the real power here. When you can consciously feel those lats firing with every rep, that's when you know you're really doing it right. And here's the best part. When you've mastered the lat pull-down, you're not just improving your upper body strength. You're setting the foundation for better posture, more stability in other exercises, and more strength in your pulls, whether you're deadlifting, rowing, or doing chin-ups. This exercise is an essential building block for your overall fitness. So here's the challenge for you. Next time you're at the gym, try dialing in all these tweaks. Focus on your form, even if it means reducing the weight a little bit. Try to feel your lats engage with each rep and see if you can get that perfect range of motion. I promise you'll notice a difference, not just in how it feels, but in how your back looks and how much stronger you get. So, we've covered a lot already, but let's go through the essentials. First, don't pull the bar behind your neck. Instead, keep the movement in front of your body to protect your shoulders. Focus on using your back, not your arms. Keep your chest up, core braced, and imagine driving your elbows down and back, not just pulling with your hands. Then, we talked about proper body position. Sit up straight, no leaning back too far, and keep your torso solid throughout. When you hit that full range of motion, focus on squeezing your shoulder blades together at the bottom to really feel those lats engage. And we didn't stop there, did we? We also added some advanced tips, like experimenting with grip variations, holding a pause at the bottom of each rep, and making sure your wrist